Hello and welcome to another Miniature Realms video. I'm going to do a bit of an unusual unboxing this time. So I picked up these bits in December last year, and because of the the excitement, or my personal excitement around Wargames Epic Battles ACW, this project kindly sort of got a bit shelved for a little while. So I'm going to do a bit of a compare and contrast between some Riflemen, essentially. So I have some metal Riflemen from Brigade Games in the US, the new Wargames Atlantic plastic Rifleman, and then just to compare really, see how they kind of match up with some of the existing stuff. I got one of the Warlord Games resin Rifleman, and I've got one of the Perry sprues that you get in with the standard infantry boxes as well. So let's open them up and have a little look inside. The first proper look of them I've had of them myself, but I'll have a little look, we'll compare them and see what they look like. So let's start with one of the simple ones, familiar with many people I'm sure. I picked up a couple of these and I placed a large order with Warlord Games back in December, and my initial plan was to do quite a substantial Peninsular War project. I've been watching a bit of YouTube, been watching Seventh Son mainly. They were that and having a friend that locally that I knew played Black Powder was the final kind of thing that made me think, right, I love Napoleonics, really need to get into play it. I played it back when I was 16, something like that, 17, 18, played 6mm. And then haven't for a number of years, but I've always wanted to get back into Napoleonic gaming. So I picked up a lot of stuff. I mean, a division of French and a division of British. And as much as I love it all, the thought of painting it all now is quite scary as well, especially with the epic scale stuff. And whether I paint it all, I don't actually know now. I may convert that project into a 10mm one, or hope that Warlord Games bring out something in epic scale as well, and then use this stuff for sharp practice, or the new Napoleonic version of Musket and Tomahawks. That will definitely happen. Whether it becomes a large scale black powder style collection as well, I'm not sure. But anyway, this is one of the Warlord resins I'm slowly spinning, probably in and out of focus here. This way we can make sure he's definitely in focus. I think this is quite nice actually. It's the first time I've had a really close look at it. I got so much stuff in a really short space of time that I almost didn't really look at it in any detail. I spent my time building the redcoats and things, but I think he's quite nice and doesn't look too bad to clear up. Yeah, he's perfectly serviceable. It's nothing that was kind of wow me, but I think they were relative. I can't even remember how much they were. I will find out and I'll put that on the screen now. But it didn't seem like an awful lot of money to add to the cost. So he's quite cool, and that's your Warlord Games offering. I will build the other ones as well after we've looked at the sprues. Okay, so the second one, the good trusty Perry sculpts. So what do you expect from Perry's? Very good, true scale, well proportioned stuff, good quality, clean plastic castings, great little sprue, and something that most Napoleonic gamers are very familiar with. And what I'll do is I'll build one of these now, and I'll come back to you and we can have a little look at it, what it looks like built. And here they are built. Well, here one is. I built one. It's a little bit rough, needs a little bit more cleanup, but I did want to just show you the sprue. So this is the Perry, one of the Perry Riflemen built, and very nice it is. Everything you expect from a Perry sculpt. As I said earlier, well proportioned, looks pretty accurate, easy to put together. There's only two sculpts, but you've got two different sort of arm options, two different head options, so you've got different ways of mixing it up there, so you can get obviously four different combinations of arm and head with body position. But they're great. You know, if you're just looking to, you know, have a couple in your as sort of light detachments and things. That might be all you need is grabbing these, and you can buy them separately as well. I think they're £1 or £2. I will double check that and pop that on the screen now, but you can just buy them on your own as separate sprues, and a very, very affordable way of adding Riflemen to your 28mm forces, and you just can't complain about them. And if the others didn't exist, I would have been very happy using these, to be honest with you. I prefer these, I think, slightly to the Warlord Games one, though I might have used those as, you know, to add a few more poses and things, but we'll see how they compare size-wise in a moment. Okay, so now we're on to what I would think of slightly more exciting things, and being a long time Sharp fan. I know a lot of people are Sharp fans. I know a few people that maybe aren't and get a little bit fed up of seeing Riflemen everywhere when they shouldn't be. I was very much planning on using my Riflemen in two ways for black powder games. They were very much going to be the detachments as per the divisions I was building my list around. I won't go into that into detail now, not for this video anyway, but they were all going to be detachments of the 60th. But I was also looking at having a few characterful models that I could use in Sharp practice, and if I wanted to play Sharp, then I could be, you know, use Sharp as every Sharp fan has wished they could do in a war game at some point. So I did a bit of research and found out that Brigade Games in America did these very good, they're obviously not officially Sharp models, but they're pretty close. So I thought, well, I'll pick some of those up and see what they're like. So pretty reasonably priced. The first pack was the British Rifle Veterans Chosen Men. That was $15 back when I purchased it. I think it was December time, around the beginning of 2020. Whether anything's changed now since import taxes and things have changed a little bit, I'm not so sure, but it was reasonably cheap to get these and the other packs. I think I spent about $45 in all, including shipping, and the shipping kind of was nearly 50% of the cost. But they look cool models. Let's have a look. So these are the Chosen Men. Hopefully we can get a good view of them. So this is a young fella that I believe will be the TV Perkins. So people who've read the books as well will know that the names on the TV program didn't always match up with the characters given them in relation to the books, and so to speak. I'm not going to go into that in detail now, but I believe this is the youngest looking one, so he looks a bit like the young lad known as Perkins in the TV programs. I think it's a lovely sculpt, really nicely done, quite characterful, and I think it's recognisable as Perkins on the TV program. So if that's what they were trying to do, I'd say they achieved it. Lovely looking little model, really nice. I think the face is absolutely fantastic. Let's go on to the next one. Now I'm going to test my memory a little bit. So the headscarf, I think it might be Isaiah Tongue in the films, not actually all the TV programs. It's been a while since I've watched them. Either way, really nice sculpt. And obviously you can use these guys just as anything from the 95th or for the 60th. Fantastic, really nice. But yeah, I think Isaiah Tongue was the name in the TV series. I think they mixed the character up a little bit with Harris, from memory, from the books, in terms of who did what. Really nice. Let's find the next one, see if we can keep recognising them. So I might be wrong. I think this would be representing Cooper from the TV series. Regardless, like with the others, regardless of who they're supposed to be, I think they're really nice characterful sculpts and absolutely brilliant for sort of skirmish games where you want to replay sharp, but also they can, as I said, they can just work in any army as rifles by themselves. But maybe you wouldn't spend, you know, the money to get them if you're not from America. Maybe you wouldn't spend the money to get them shipped over when there are other riflemen available. So I believe this is TV Harris, I think. Close enough, I think. I may be wrong, I may have got the wrong ones here, so I'm sure someone will put in the comments if that is the case. But again, very cool sculpt, really nice model. And then the final one, I'm sure won't surprise anyone, maybe it's by process of elimination. And we have Rifleman Hagman. So again, you know, these are two TV program descriptions, etc., etc. They do differ slightly. And I find it quite amusing. I watched a few of the, I probably watched 2 series of the TV shows as a 15-year-old or something like that when they were on ITV. I remember recording them on VHS, showing my age here, and then just getting all the books that were out at that time and binge reading them over the space of a few weeks. And I could never get rid of, or I could never have Sean Bean or the guy who plays Patrick Harper as pictured as anyone else in my head, but I think the differences in the books, I started to kind of get the book head canon, shall we so to speak. But then having probably watched more of the TV programs in recent years, or little nostalgia trips, it's probably the TV ones that imagery just sticks in my mind more than the book stuff now. So when I go back and start rereading again, which I did a little bit before Christmas, I'm struggling with what was what. It's amazing how your mind works. So I ordered this guy as well. So here's a Rifleman, and I'm pretty sure that this guy, let's see the official description of him, was just says Rifles Veteran Officer. I'm pretty sure this is supposed to be Fredrickson, from the 60th, with his missing eye and his missing teeth, etc. And again, I knew that I'd be using the 1st Battalion 60th as detachments in some of the brigades based on the historical order of battles. I was using some from Salamanca that I was building my army to. I knew I'd be using the 60th, so I thought, well, he's going to look perfect on those in those small detachments in those brigades, but also if I want to have a game of sharp practice or something and I want to use this character, and there he is. I know they do some other troops as well they haven't picked up. I think you can get Hakeswell and things like that. Right, brings you on to the big 2. And I think again that what they call them is Rifles Veterans Command. So let's leave sharp till last. So we have Patrick Harper. So I love this model. It doesn't scream the actor, but maybe they're trying to go a little bit halfway. So the description in the book is he's massive. He's taller than Sharp, and he's got bright sort of sandy blonde hair, not this sort of slightly shorter dark-haired guy. And I forget his name, so someone's going to put that in the comments. But the name of the actor, I'm not going to Google it in the middle of filming this. Name of the actor that played Patrick Harper in the TV series. He is in my head now when I read the books, regardless of the fact that it doesn't match the description given occasionally. But this is a really nice model. It does look slightly, you know, the nose looks maybe a little bit too big compared to the TV sculpt. It's not quite as a good match for him as maybe some of the other ones we've already looked at, but a really, really lovely model. And again, if you're not using them as as the TV characters and the book characters anyway. What does it matter? There's some bits are really great. I think they got the hair great. I love the way he's the messed up collar coming out, the shirt coming out from inside his jacket overall. Some of it's fantastic, just the way you see in the stories. I just think that it's the nose, there's something in the face that looks slightly different, but it's a beautiful model regardless. And then the final one, the big one, the one we all probably want to compare the most, is the captain or the officer, the Richard Sharp stroke not Richard Sharp. And I feel the same about this one actually. I really like it. It's a lovely model. The blade is probably more like the right blade in terms of the length anyway. It's not quite the full length of the heavy cavalry sabre that Sharp has, but again, you're designing a rifleman officer here, not a character Sharp, I suppose. They got the hair about right. So work out if it's the stolen cavalryman's overalls he's wearing. It's hard to tell, but it's clearly designed to be Sharp. It looks like the boots he's got are the cavalryman's boots and stuff as well. So there's some non-official uniform parts here. Yeah, again, it's just a face. For me, it doesn't scream Sean Bean. It just screams kind of Richard Sharp-esque, which is going to be fine actually. But it is a beautiful sculpt and a really nice model, so I'm not complaining about that. I think they've managed to get the likeness of Harper and Hagman and some of the others more than they have these guys, but they are really good, and I'm really happy with them. And they were my planned 95th. They were going to be Sharp and their characters, and they may have not even got used in black powder. It might have been just there for Sharp practice or something like that. And then not long after I bought these, we started seeing images of the Wargames Atlantic stuff, which is what we'll move on to now. So here we are with the Wargames Atlantic set. These are a lot of these picture images of these have been shared around. I've got the camera set up to have a closer look at the individual sprues. And the sprues, as far as I can tell, are just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 identical smaller sprues, and they're sort of half-sized in the box, so it makes it quite nice and easy for me to show you. So you've got 4 sets of legs on each. And one set of officer legs by the looks of things, which would seem to narrow down your options a little bit. So you can make 32 of these figures, but I haven't explored these a lot. But does that mean that you're going to end up with 8 officers? Would seem a high ratio of them. But I suppose you can use what would be deemed as the officer legs for something else, maybe. If you look at, no, they're not separate bodies, so you are going to have a lot of excess. You've got 32, but you're not going to build a regiment of 32 of these guys if you're looking to do the whole thing, unless I'm missing the point somewhere. Lots and lots of other options though. I mean, there's so many head options along here. Quite a few different options. You could arguably make your characters from Sharp from the TV program if you wanted to. There's enough kind of similarities there. You've got your headscarf kind of thing, so if you want to your tongue, so you could just about get away with it, I think. They are very nice, at least on the sprue anyway. Let's flick it up the other way for. You've got very non-official stuff, so you can clearly make your Sharp and Harpers. You've got your multi-barrel gun, which clearly only from the stories. That's not something you can use in any game. So pretty cool. Yeah, separate sword bayonets down here. Yeah, it's an awesome looking sprue. Really, really, really cool. Very well detailed. Really nice and crisp. Right, what I'll do is I'm not going to build all 32. I will have a go at one sprue and build some of the options on here, and we'll come back and have a look at it. So here we are back with the 4 built from that sprue. There's so many different combinations you can make, and just one little thing I want to add as well. So I mentioned about there being having to make one officer on each sprue because of what appears to be officer legs. This is probably not going to focus here, and I should probably just stick an image up, but we'll give it a go anyway. So that one there, that's what I believe to be the officer legs, and looks like you can build them as a normal rifleman using all, and that's what they intend. You do get, if I just grab a sprue, you do get a regular body there without leads attached as well. There's actually 3 options. There's the officer coat next to it there with the jacket over the top, and there's your one without your jacket. You're more kind of, if you were going to build a sharp, you would use that one that's in the center, and probably your unhatted head there in the corner. But anyway, that's by the by. Let me show you what I've built. We can have a little look. Now, I've only just finished these, so I'm not going to be careful I handle them, so I don't have any issues. Here's your kneeling guy. So I've built it as if he's adding powder from his powder horn to the priming pan. It's probably my least favourite of the main bodies. This leg looks slightly goofy. I think it looks like I've taken too much off there, but I've not taken detail away. I was just taking the mould line away there, but just the way the trouser folds, the full there, it's okay. It's pretty good. It's still a nice model, but it's I would say the sculpt there is not as high quality as the Perry's. But obviously, what you can do with this kit, the multi-purposeness of it, and all the different parts, you can make some really characterful guys, and it's pretty cool. The heads are all kind of designed to slot in one way. You can easily reposition them, but they're not. Some little parts that when you build it, you realise they're not quite as pristine and as detailed as the Perry ones. But that's the first one. And here's the next one. So different pose. This one I've tried to pick some of the more dynamic poses to give you a bit of an idea, rather than a sort of stand-in sort of kneeling or firing. It's got that out at a funny angle. I try to sort of get it to the same level, so when he goes on a base that will be touching the ground. So it's probably a little bit of a funny angle. I might need to adjust that, but anyway, it's all by the by. Yep, really cool. Again, very impressed. So many different options I haven't explored. There's a lot left on the sprue. There's sort of double the amount of arms. There's a horn. There's separate loading arms for different things. You really can mess around with these and have lots and lots of different poses. There's another 6 heads left on the sprue. But yeah, very cool, very characterful. I quite like the faces on these, they're quite good. There you go, a little bit more of a more regular pose, this one. I think I actually prefer these like this. You obviously wouldn't have so many of the alternative heads and things in there. Again, really cool. It's probably the legs are the least favourite part of these. They just look slightly crisper on the Perry models, but yeah, very happy with them. So very, very cool kit. They look pretty good. And the last one. So this was the option for the build I took for the officer. I decided not to go for the sharp-esque build, so to speak. I went for a much more standard officer build. Obviously got the option to still do that with all these sprues. As I said, all the 8 sprues are identical. And I don't know how many I'll use of these. I definitely won't be using, I shouldn't think I'll need all 32. But I thought this was the safest way to go before I know what I'm going to be using in the future. I'm still undecided about whether I will build a sharp, in inverted commas, or whether I'll use the Brigade Games sculpt. And we'll have a little comparison between the ones I've looked at today in a moment in terms of their size, and also just a little reminder of the kind of the character you get with those Metal Brigade Games ones. Let's have a look at those now. And there we go. I'll try and keep them fairly still so they hopefully doesn't go in and out of focus. But they're all relatively similar in scale. I wouldn't say there are any issues at all with using these mixed up. The plastics, the Perry and the Atlantic games, really similar in terms of scale, so I'm quite pleased about that. I wasn't sure how I'd mix them in, and yeah, I think they look really cool. I think overall kit wise the Wargames Atlantic is absolutely fantastic. The number of different poses you get far exceeds anything you can get in terms of variety, at least out of the ones we've got represented here. It's a very good value as well. I'll pop the current UK price up on the screen now. The Warlord Games resin ones, you know, they're okay. If you just wanted the odd one or two, they're easy to pick up. I'm not sure I'll use them now. I think I have enough to use the others, and they're definitely not my favourites. I think I will still use the Perry ones. I think they're my favourite, at least from the waist down. I much prefer the legs on there. I really like the character that's in the Wargames Atlantic set as well, and maybe you can sort of mix and match a little bit. Looking at the scale, all the extra arms and heads and things that I have in the Wargames Atlantic sprues, I can use them on the Perry sets. So you pick up those Perry sprues, as I mentioned earlier, how cheap they are. You could definitely make them a lot, you know, you can really add some character just by adding some of the different heads and stuff. So that may be what I do. And I really do love the Metal Brigade game ones. And I think that I will definitely the idea will be to paint them as the film, TV film series of Sharp, and as the characters that they are. What I'll do now is I'll just come back with a comparison between the Sharp Sharp model from Brigade Games and the officer that I built from Wargames Atlantic. And here we are, just a quick comparison there. And obviously I haven't built, as I said, the Wargames Atlantic miniature to be a inverted commas Sharp. I just love the pose on the metal one, and I think that if I'm going to have Sharp for some fun book-based, film-based narrative gaming, I'll probably go with the beautiful characterful sculpts from Brigade Games. They're probably my favourites. I had considered maybe just painting them up as a little diorama or a vignette or something like that, and then using the plastics and building a Sharp-esque model on there as well. I may still do that, but I think that the Wargames Atlantic kit is probably the most versatile overall. As I said, if you were looking for a one-stop shop, that box will give you everything you need to be 95th 60th rifles, or if you wanted to go proper narrative on it, they've given you the bits and the kits to kind of make close enough representations of Sharp and his chosen men as well, which is just brilliant. So I mean, that's it really. It's quite a detailed look at the models that are in those kits. I'm still not 100% decided on which I'm going to do, but I think, you know, for Sharp and his chosen men, I think I'll use the metals that I've picked up, and then build a wider set of 95th and of Royal 60th, of Royal American Rifles and the 60th for uses in Sharp practice, and maybe some black powder games as well. What other manufacturers are there out there? Sort of pop in the comments, let me know. Are there any other manufacturers out there that make Riflemen that you think are better? Which of these do you like? What are your favourites? Yeah, just let me know. I might check out some more miniatures if there's some more out there that I should be looking at. Do let me know. But let me know what you think of what I've had on display today. So thanks for watching another video, guys. I will catch you soon.